Multithreaded Windows for batch command. Do you know if there is a simple way to run for command in batch file on multiple threads? What's the point of having 4 cores if I can't run my tasks in 4 parallel threads? For example, if I am optimizing PNGs with pingout, the command I would use is. But this is highly parallelizable task in which the subtasks do not depend on each other at all. To run this in 4 queues, I'd write something like. Do I need to write my own for like app that would be able to do this, or is there available free solution?
Batch files are for extremely basic scripting and do not support any kind of multi-threading. You would need to write your own utility to do what you are wanting to accomplish. Alternatively, Windows PowerShell may provide more capabilities to get you closer to your goal. If you simply want to run multiple operations at the same time, you can use the command start to launch the pingout utility in a new window. The for loop will then continue without waiting on each operation to finish. The modified line would look like this. However, note that this will effectively launch pingout for all the files in the directory at the same time, which is most likely not desirable.
I have written a batch file that executes only a maximum number of commands a while ago on Stack Overflow, parallel execution of shell processes. It spawns a maximum of 4 new processes that execute in parallel and minimized. Wait time needs to be adjusted probably, depending on how much each process does and how long it is running. You probably also need to adjust the process name for which task list is looking if you're doing something else. There is no way to properly count the processes that are spawned by this batch, though. One way would be to create a random number at the start of the batch, %random%, and create a helper batch that does the processing, or spawns the processing program, but which can set its window title to a parameter. This would be a simple batch that sets its title to the first parameter and then runs the second parameter with the third as argument. You can then filter in task list by selecting only processes with the specified window title, task list /fi, window title EQ. This should work fairly reliable and prevents too many false positives. Searching for command exe would be a bad idea if you still have some instances running, as that limits your pool of worker processes. You can use %number_of_processors% to create a sensible default of how many instances to spawn. You can also easily adapt this to use sexec to spawn the processes remotely, but wouldn't be very viable as you have to have admin privileges on the other machine as well as provide the password in the batch. You would have to use process names for filtering then, though.
I wrote a library which provides multithreading support in batch files, in a way that emulates the behavior of thread pools. Multibat on GitHub.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.